Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy.
Big D!
Right here.
Going to the championship!
Yeah! That's right, a big NFC championship, Big D. From that guy, Darren McCarty, my name is Neal Ruhl. We have Spencer Raxter back since we are back in studio. No Mike Gentry here today, but we're going back in time. The iconic Sam Flannel on the ones and twos. What up?
You know, some might say iconic, some might use another superlative, but I will stick with iconic. Good to be back with you guys.
It's a back in time episode of Big D Energy.
Just so everybody knows, Flannel was in the building for the live stream. He is good luck. He's the national champion. We want Flannel around. His celebratory fives and whatever. You know what? They're getting better. I'm not going to say he's there yet, but I've seen improvement. Sam, it was great to see on Sunday and enjoy the Lions' victory.
That was so much fun.
Would you say that you're on pace for your high five game to be... You're going to be playing your best high five game right at the Super Bowl?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Peaking
can I
at the right
break
time.
it in a little bit? So Sam has a tendency to side five. So you have to, Spenny, am I right? Sam's sort of proverbial side five, not a hands up, not a look at, that one's easy. Remember, look at the elbow, you'll never miss. Look at the elbow. The side five is a little bit different, so you really got to focus in on that. We're getting him to turn it, right? It's sort of like the flat earth, sphere sort of thing. Sam thinks, it's flat earth, it's got to keep it up, but it's actually round, and so we're working on it. But Neal, to your point, he's right on brand for this Super Bowl.
No, he absolutely is. He's ready to be peaking at the right time, just like hopefully it looks like the Lions are as well. Jump into that woodwardsports.com chat thread, subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Get in there and get your thoughts in there. We're taking them, man, because yesterday, D-Mac, I didn't even quite know what to say. For real. Like, I was at a loss for words yesterday.
Dude, my favorite, and if anybody knows, well, obviously Neal spent his... Neal was collecting the bag. Vegas had some money for Neal to collect around the slot tables and the betting, but he spent it with his guys. And my favorite thing of all the texts and pictures is whatever. Like, seriously, Terminal Dennis, who your buddy, the biggest Lions fan, was in tears, and you're a grown man giving him
the hug.
And I think that expressed a lot of us, right? So I think that, it's that one thing. What I like, though, and the vibe that I'm feeling is we're taking our lead right from the coaching staff, right from the team. We're not done, right? It doesn't feel like, oh, we're just happy to be here. We're like, okay, took care of business at hand, and whatever way we got it done, a win's a win. Like you said, we won. We won. It doesn't matter. But it doesn't feel like we're going out to be fed to the wolves. Right, I know that I was looking at the chat thread, and I don't know who said it earlier on. Please join us, the woodwardsports.com chat thread. But paraphrasing, saying that listening to some San Francisco podcasts and stuff, that they think it's a SOL, which we don't even know what that is anymore, instead of the brand new Lions coming out. So hopefully maybe they'll have a little bit of overconfidence. I doubt it inside. Kyle Shanahan's such a great coach, and that, like, you got to understand, this is their time, right? Like, this is their window, and this is the finale. I look at them sort of how I looked at Colorado a few years ago. They had to win now. This is San Fran. This is the beginning of our window, even though I think that we have a great shot to win this game. But San Fran's been knocking at the door. We're going to talk, we saw what happened to Buffalo.
Yes, we did.
And how do I feel this morning? I mean, like, it feels like I thawed right out of whatever being frozen and looking and go, oh my God, it could be worse. I could be a Buffalo fan. No, like
I know.
And I say that in empathy.
It was somebody else for a change.
It was somebody else, and it's been them. But at least we always used to say, well, at least they went to the championship, and at least they got it. No, you're a winning team. We respect that, and we know I have some empathy as a fan to what the Bills Mafia is going through. So I'm just overly, I think, enjoyed the last couple days, because it's the truth, it's reality. You hear all the talk that's coming out about how gritty all our guys are. That's what it is. They're a bunch of warriors, man. They epitomize the coach. So But now it's right. We're into Tuesday. It's time to get ready for that game on Sunday.
No, it is, and there's a ton of stuff I want to get into. Chuck Brewer, Neal, I'm in a time machine, and it's January 2023. Yeah, because we got Sam Flannel back in the sound booth here today. We got draft talk. Who we taking this year? How about a running back named Gibbs? I think he looks promising. I don't know, Chuck. That's awfully high to be taking a running back. I'm just saying it is. I'll trust Brad Holmes. I'll trust him. But it's awfully high. As long as we don't take anybody from Iowa, I'm cool with it. Is that fair? Is that fair?
Apparently not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do want to address this, though, because I did see this. And Ezekiel, I was going to do this a little bit later, but I'm going to give my statement on this to get the engines warmed up right here. Ezekiel says, I was stoked for this game until I saw Clete Blakeman got announced as a referee. I hope we're up too high before he does something shady. And Ezekiel, here's the thing with all this, and it backs up to what D-Mac says. And remember, Ezekiel, this is going to sound aggressive, but it's not at you. You're a valued member of the Big D Energy community. I don't give a shit who the official is, because exactly what Darren said, this is all on the line for San Francisco now. All the moves and everything they've done, all the big contracts that they've signed and everything is preparing for this moment for them right now. And I don't care. I don't care what they have going on. I don't care who they traded for. I don't care who the referee is. You know the stakes. You're going into San Francisco, so you got to be 8 points better to be 2 points better. We all know the score right now. I don't want to hear about Clete Blakeman. I don't want to hear anything about it. I go back to what Jimmy Johnson said to the Miami Hurricanes when they lost at Notre Dame. You can't let it come down to that, and you can't. And we can win this game, and I'm not scared of the 49ers. They don't terrify me. I don't shake and quiver at the thought of Brock Purdy being I don't care about them. We've proven we can win on the road. Dan Campbell, and I heard Dan Campbell talking this week. He said, I like it. I like that we're going out there. And I do too. I do too, because I want to go get it all. I want to go take it all. It is our time now. It is our time to go out there. And look, we're going to have to stun everybody. That's the way it's going to be. But I don't care, because this is our shot. This team is constructed to do it. And we're going to get through the reasons here today. But there's a lot of them. I don't care what's in the way. I don't. A good friend of mine says it all the time. The only way is through.
Yeah, the only way out is through. And you've put everything in front of you. This is everything you've wanted. These guys,
we're too good. We're too good now. It's not fake. It's not fake. No. We're good now. We are good now.
Absolutely. You felt that in that last game.
Yes.
Right? As far as what was at stake, but you just like, oh my gosh, I got a team that's going to close this out. Neal, that last drive or whatever was going on, and yes, we wanted a first down and stuff like this, but then again, look at we always say this when we're going to punt. Right, and Matt, I'll give Matt his credit. There's our MVP, Jack Fox. Right, when he pinned him in there, you just know that this bend but don't break defense was gonna make a play, and it was. But what did I say? Are you gonna let Baker Mayfield beat you? Right? Okay, James Franklin's Penn State, Iowa football, basketball, everything, and what? Baker Mayfield's gonna Baker Mayfield.
And Spenny's got a great show lined up. There's tons of great points to get to. We have some cross comparisons. We're going all in. I'll talk about it for 5 days if we have to. However long we got to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it for. Because this is it, everybody. This is the moment. And look, we like the window, and we've talked about the window, and the window's open and all that stuff. We anticipate the window being open for a while. We do. But you never know if you're ever getting back. Little kid Neal Ruhl walked out of the Silverdome with his dad when they beat the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. And I said, wow, Barry's young. We're going to be here for a long time. And I never got back until now.
We lost in 95. Yeah, we're young. We'll get back, set the league record, lost to Colorado Conference Championship. I tell you all the time. Scariest point of my professional career, sitting on the bus after losing the conference finals. And not because Chris Draper got his face busted up and hit from behind from Claude Lemieux. It's because I was thinking, oh my God, we may never get back. You got to seize the opportunity when it's in front of you. And this is everything they got. You know what you noticed? What do I always say? And this is where everybody noticed. When the guy next to you is more important than you are to yourself.
And they have that.
They have that. Speaking from their top dog down. right? I know we got to talk about it. I'm sure you talked about Frank Ragnow or whatever like this, but what a guy like that means. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? But that's what you need. And if you don't think, and did you hear, like, and go to his sort of quote? They pay me for this. This is why they put trust in, and that is, gosh darn it, that's what the leadership is right there.
No, and I didn't mean for it to come out of the gates like this.
No,
Usually we were going to walk
gate.
into it, but the comment got to me, and again, it wasn't against you. Art Vandelay says, I'm more scared of Neal yelling at me than the 49ers. And
You
Art,
should
like,
be scared.
Yeah.
Hey, let me paraphrase.
Square up.
Hey, guys, be prepared for this. It's going to happen. I'm sorry. So be prepared. And I'm sure Dan Campbell and Bertel, you're going to get fucked by a call.
100%.
Or a couple calls. You know, it's going to be a holding on the side. It's going to, you know, on Bosa or, you know, Chase Young or whatever like this. There's going to be, you're going to shake your head, but expect it. It's not going to get easy. You're going to have to beat everybody. You're going to have to beat the league.
Yes, you are.
Dude, if you don't know this, look at what Super Bowl are we in?
It's over 50.
Okay, whatever it is. Look at the colors of the Super Bowl. You know how they put the LVI or whatever it is? It's got Baltimore and 49ers colors. If that's not, like, look into it. Subliminal. This is you against the world. And I know my guys in Allen Park don't want it any other way.
No, I do. I'm ready for it. Chad Fisher, we're used to being the underdogs. I know, right? Absolutely we are. Neal Ruhl's Walmart shirt suddenly has picked up the show and is starting to watch the show, so that's pretty good. Neal Ruhl's Walmart shirt says, my shorts are getting tight over here. Michael Daniel, yeah, D-Mac and Neal.
Stoked, baby. Stoked!
No,
We're all stoked.
Yeah, Neal is cooking. It's Super Bowl 58. That is right. But yeah, man.
58.
I'm ready to go. Like yesterday was the acceptance. I didn't know what to say. All right, we're here. I heard Dan Campbell talk. That was what I wanted to hear. And now away we go. And now it's time for people to get put in phone booths, by the way. Oh, by the way, I'll make a note of this. I'll get to this one later. Because it's just another, you know, I hope some people took my advice. Some people that make jackets. I hope they've been taking my advice.
Oh my God! Did you?
I hope they've been taking my advice. And did you see that man pregame?
Did you see the one block on a pole that he absolutely? I think it was a DB or what, but it might have been a linebacker that he blew him so. And we're talking about Penei Sewell.
He's blocking two guys on Jahmyr Gibbs' touchdown run. Two guys took him out of the play.
Sunned them both, twins. Spenny.
Amazing stuff.
Spenny, that man, bro.
Oh, we've talked about it already.
I know.
He's the best offensive lineman in the NFL. He's a Hall of Famer. It's going to happen. And I'm just happy we have him. Give him a blank check.
Hunter, I see no lies right there. I see no lies. I'm absolutely ready to go.
It's so awesome.
It is, man. Dude, every time they have the ball at the 1 yard line or the 2 yard line, he is 5 yards into he's always at the middle of the letters in the end zone. Every time. Like, every time he is. Bosa Sewell, man. Square up. Oh, I got to see that, man. I got to see that.
You are going to see it.
And if you need a haircut, let me tell you what you're going to see.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to get award-winning haircut, you know where to go. Come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Get that haircut experience. Also register to win a trip of your dreams. All expense paid suite to the 2024 NCAA basketball tournament. That's right, no expense paid for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling a financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
We are off and we are running. No doubt about that. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Spencer Raxter, the icon himself, Sam Flannel here in the house as well on the ones and twos in for Big Mike Gentry. Stay safe out there on the roads, everybody. They're starting to dig it out now, but there are just spots, man. There's spots.
It's like icy. There's a slurry.
Pretty Ricky's in the house.
Yeah.
So icy. That was a great jam.
Oh, for sure.
You never hear that song anymore. Why?
Song. I don't know.
I'm going to listen to it in the car on the way home.
It's a great song.
100%.
You do that. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll bring it back.
Yeah.
I'll bring it back myself. Damn it.
You go.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Ryan's reaction. Is it a copyright issue to show in-game clips on Woodward Sports Network?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's a copyright issue to have watch parties or do jersey exchanges or do anything.
Yeah,
so
to put a logo up there, we can't even use the Lions logo. The three biggest no-nos on Woodward Sports: 1, in-game footage; 2, anything UFC; 3, anything WWE. Can't touch it; you'll get shut down.
Yep, and it's instant too.
Yeah.
So to sum it up, too, those entities have software that monitor YouTube and outlets like that. So anything that gets played gets clipped right away. That's how it works. So it's big business, and that's the way it is. And, we're one of the largest digital sports networks in America, by far and away the biggest one in Michigan. And that's the way it works, and these are the challenges we have. But
and Cody Ingle, we can say Super Bowl when talking about the Super Bowl, but not in a paid advertisement.
Correct. So, like, if we were going to have a watch party of the Super Bowl,
it would have to be the big game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the dispo graphic has to be the big game.
Yep. And they remind you constantly.
They do.
Constantly.
We could talk about WWE, we just can't show clips.
Right. Tony, I'm not even reading that. Penei Sewell will be a Lion for life.
Yes, he will.
He will be a Lion for life. So, that's how all that works. Speaking of somebody that's been a Lion for his whole professional life, Frank Ragnow kind of took on folk hero status, D-Mac, when he had his hockey guy moment, where a bone is facing the other way, he closes his eyes for a couple seconds, comes out for a play, and then he's back out there. We talk about Sewell. Ragnow is the one, I think, D-Mac. We talk about how the story of the Lions has become like a national thing. I think Frank Ragnow, Jared Goff's another one, Dan Campbell's another one, but Frank Ragnow is one of these guys where he is Detroit.
Oh, 100%. And I think that it's always obviously people understand being an offensive lineman or D lineman, the grit and the analogies that are used, but to play through the injury and just to come out, and say what he said, to the fact of knowing like as much pride, because he just goes about his business, right? And that's sort of what you want with your leader. Some other guys can be vocal and stuff like that. This is what I like, right? Frank Ragnow is going to lead so differently than what C.J. Gardner-Johnson's going to lead, right? But in their own way, they're leading. Now, Frank is the...
But you need them all.
Calming,
Yeah.
Yes, Frank's the calming influence. Frank's the jack of all trades, the one, not only physically, but cerebrally. Right, him and Goff have to be so much on the same page as far as, and when you listen to him talk, as far as what they go through to help everybody else out. So I just look at, how many times do you see an offensive lineman get accidentally rolled up like he did, doesn't see it coming, and then he's done. Mm-hmm. So the fact of and then him say, well, it wasn't going to get hurt anymore, just dealing with the pain. Yeah, I know what that's all about. But again, that's when you dig into playing at home and the fans there, the adrenaline and stuff like that, and to get through it. And we saw the block that he made on a 350-pound guy, Vita Vea.
Oh, my God, that beast.
With Craig Reynolds touched on a 4th down, do or die on one knee. To me, that just epitomizes, I think that picture with him on one knee hold, it epitomizes the season.
No
Never
doubt.
quit.
No doubt.
That's what it is when it comes down to grit at the end of the day, and pretty, not pretty, this guy, that guy, right? He is your leader. He is your best player.
Now, this is something I haven't heard yet, and I'm curious to hear it. But Frank Ragnow, obviously, addressed the media. These clips we do have here, and these we can play for you. So here's Frank Ragnow.
Shout out Lions.
To me, the pain, I'm not trying to sound like some brute tough guy here, but I was just more frustrated than anything, the fact that it's just, again, but it was tough, but it was worth it.
What allows you to play through that? Other people can't, maybe.
My parents, I don't know. My dad was one of the toughest people I've ever met. My mom's one of the toughest people I've ever met. And I just take a lot of pride in being out there with the guys, being out there for the city. They signed me to this extension a few years ago, and I want to be fulfilling that, I don't want to be that guy who gets paid and not doing that stuff, I want to be out there and finding a way to win.
D-Mac, I go to you for reaction. Take me through that.
Well, Todd Sain said it the best. Frank is him. And I get that. He's telling you the truth. It's the pain as a professional athlete, we will deal with them. We can overcome mentally, especially for a shorter period of time. Whatever it is, doc, shoot me up, do whatever it is, I'll get through it. I'll play through it. If I'm not going to hurt anymore, it's just going to be the pain. The frustration, I love that he talks about it because it's just frustrating because I got shit to do here and you're not helping me out.
Yeah.
Come on, leg, let's go, right? It's a bit, but that's the warrior in it. And then when he talks about, now if we know Frank Ragnow's story about losing his father, younger age and stuff like this, and how he helps his foundation, helps with that. There is something to wherever you draw your intestinal fortitude about. And Frank Ragnow, if you look at him, I would say at lineage and history and his forefathers and relatives that aren't here anymore. You have a conversation with yourself. I used to have my dad and my grandpa and my uncle and stuff. I used to always picture them sitting in lawn chairs up in the rafters watching us, for the cups and stuff like this. And there's something to, what do I always say? It's, you got to get outside yourself, right? Mm-hmm. So whether it's your teammates that he's already invested in and stuff like this, or you need something on a different level you draw to when he talks about his parents and the sacrifices they've all made. And we do think back to that. I think back to my waking up in the back of the car, my dad driving through snowstorms to get you. So am I going to allow this moment that I've worked for? And that just, there's something to it. And as human beings, we can all relate to that, because this is just him, right? Okay. It could be Frank Ragnow, could have been that roofer guy that had to finish this roof as the storm's coming in, and he knows he's got to get it done, and he's going to get pelted for the last little bit, but he's up on that roof, and him and his buddies are trying to get this done before the storm comes in, and it doesn't matter. And yeah, who cares? And it starts hailing and snowing or whatever, but they're dedicated to doing it, right? This is him doing his job to the best, one of the best to do it that we're watching right now, and not letting anything get in front of it. And we've seen it. So that goes back to individual, right? Of what your fortitude and everything is. So I I always love the fact that, Frank's not one that wants flowers, needs flowers, or whatever else, but the appreciation. See, all you want when you're sort of the grind line guy is this appreciation from the guys around you. And he knows he's got that.
And the best part, I thought, of those interviews, well, the one, Dan Campbell in his press conference said, he's like, Frank Ragnow's the best center in the NFL. I think Frank Ragnow's the best center in the NFL. And my favorite part of Frank's interview is when he gets there, as a big ugly myself, as a trenches guy, you never get the shine, you never get the praise. So he's not used to being up there doing these questions, and in real heavyweight fashion, he sees the Gatorade bottle that's out there for a prop. He's like, "Can I drink that?" It was so good.
There's another great moment where there's a picture when they're going to interview. I think Melissa Stark's going to interview Jared Goff. Frank Ragnow standing beside me. You see Jared Goff go, "Take your helmet off, bro."
Yeah.
Like he's never been there before. Like, he's standing there, offensive line, getting ready for interviews with helmet off. And Jared, it was like, big brother, little brother sort of things. Like, hey, man, dude, you're in the moment like this. So do you love that? Because that just shows you who the person is.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to go back to this, too, and come full circle. And nobody knows this except the people I was hanging out with that night. I have to turn the finger and point at myself because I do remember that draft night. I was working for a different talk network entity at that time. We were having a draft watch party at Rochester Brewery or something like that. And I called it at the time the most nondescript draft pick in the history of the Detroit Lions franchise.
Was that a Bob Quinn pick?
I said that. Yeah.
Was that a Bob Quinn pick?
20.
All right, so we finally found it, guys. Something he did good. Something he left us. There was that treasure. Sometimes, the grandparents or, somebody passes away and then it takes years and years and you find something in the attic or something like this. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and I have to come full circle on it because – and look, that's partially the nature of it, and it goes back into what you guys were saying about the whole interview process. But you look at it, and here are the Lions picking at 20, and they take a center from Arkansas, right? Like it doesn't jump off the page at you. And and it was a classic draft, right? Like DJ Moore went a couple picks later, Calvin Ridley went a couple picks later, I believe. Lamar went in that draft. I was actually bigger on Will Hernandez at that time. Nick Chubb went a little bit after that. You know what I'm saying? Like those were the names that I was going to. So I do have to say that Frank Ragnow, for the most nondescript draft pick in the history of the Lions franchise, has been one of the best in the history of the Lions franchises. Because how many times do we have the best player at a position? And guys, this all ties into it. This is very, very simple. Frank Ragnow is the best center in NFL right now, right? That's Dan Campbell said that. That's not me saying it. Penei Sewell, forget about it. He's already the best offensive tackle in the game right now.
Best offensive lineman.
Yep. Yeah, best offensive lineman in the game right now. Amon-Ra's closer to the top than he is to number 10
Keep
at his spot.
pissing him off. Keep making him mad.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you notice a theme here. Good players.
And where do you rank our running backs? Either individually or collectively. Because I like to put them in a collective pile.
If Gibbs were a stock, I would recommend you buy it. I would buy options in it.
I would buy options in it too.
Let me ask you this just before we go to break. If Jahmyr Gibbs was a stock, right? And where everybody, I saw Rake put in that looking back, all the experts gave the draft rankings for the Lions a C+ and stuff like this. If you would say that Jahmyr Gibbs was $1 when you drafted him, what's his value now? Like, how much is his value?
That's a great way to put it. If he were $1 when you bought it,
yeah,
I would bet that I would say he's probably around $8 to $10 now. And earnings are coming out. Earnings are coming out in about 2 weeks.
And
things look good.
And it's not right, exactly. Do you see a downfall on the horizon?
No,
because I don't. And if you look across the league, right, you have to arguably say for a guy that we question the most, or or obviously, I mean, how late into the year do we still hearing, how you dropped this guy 12th overall, oh my God, whatever like this, to the fact of what the value he's brought. There's not too many guys that have increased their value, at least to their fan base, by the production that he has. Have they? Am I wrong?
No, absolutely, you're correct. Tell them about Guardian.
Absolutely, Guardian Alarm. New Year's here. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians. Take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. The number 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed. But I need you to call the number 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care. Whether it's business, whether it's pleasure, Guardian don't care. They just want you to call so they can protect you. Give them a call today. The number, 1-800.
Stay out. Stay out of the end zone, Christian McCaffrey. I know you're the great white hope, but it doesn't matter. You're going down.
Stay out of the right side of the offensive line, Nick Bosa. You don't want those problems.
You don't want that smoke. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them Big D Energy. We sent you.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
At Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. There's 18 locations, so you know there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. And don't forget, Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday. It's Feldman Automotive, the very best out there, the best in the car buying game. Keeping it pushing, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Yes, Sam Flannel back here in the house. And Spot Track just released this, and I think it's kind of cool. So I'm going to call an audible, and we're going to do it right now. And I want to go around the room. They have an article right now on SpotTrack.com financially detailing the NFL Final Four. So they kind of did like a breakdown of everybody and where they sit.
See where everybody's at.
See where everybody's at.
This is the Neal. We call this the Neal. This guy's right out of. You guys went to the same school.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
School of Ruhl.
Absolutely. So here's a couple of the notable notes for this year's Final Four. The number 1 and number 3 overall cap hits, not money, overall cap hits in the NFL this year are in the Final Four. Patrick Mahomes at $38 million. Now, you guys, everyone's going to flip out about this, and this is the battle I fight with Easy a lot, but I'll kind of explain it as we go, like the real-world applications. But Patrick Mahomes at $38 million, Jared Goff, the third highest cap hit this year at $31 million, have both made the Final Four. You guys will love this one, Spenny. The 49ers carry the least amount of total cap in all of football this year. because they backdated everything. So they've spent just under $200 million in cap hits this year.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Ravens had the second highest cash payroll in the NFL this year. So we talk about the 49ers in cap spendings, $199.5 million. The Ravens paid out $289 million in cash. That's the second highest cash
what was
payroll.
their cap hit, though?
I would have to take a look at that and see.
So would they be under San Fran? Like, because as I'm listening to you right now, the ticket's coming up next year, the year after for San Francisco, right?
Yes,
now,
and that will be going forward.
Ticket, would that be considered that Baltimore's paying the ticket now, or because of what they don't have to pay salary cap? Like, does the cash really matter at the end of the day of building your team? Right, like what you just said.
No, and we talked about it too, like how the Rams built their stuff. When all of a sudden they could create cap space, it's called cash over cap. So you can pay out cash now and take cap hits later, but your ownership's got to be willing to write, because when these big deals get put in escrow, they have to write the check.
So I guess the reason for this questioning is this some of the waters that we could be swimming in?
But we're in a position to do it, and it kind of all ties back to that.
So what you're telling me is Baltimore and San Fran and the Rams or whatever had to create the position where we are building into the position.
Correct.
So
they're running the same playbook here. That they are. It's just they're a little behind in the highway right now. They're a little advanced actually of where they've gotten to where they are financially, but they're clean. Because what was the first thing he did when Brad Holmes came in there? Nuked
because that's
everybody.
what you had to do.
Nuked Trey Flowers, nuked Jamie Collins, nuked Jelani Tavai, nuked it all and ate it the first year. And while we were here all pissed off, some of us that were talking about it say, you got to see what the plan is right here. You can see it.
Because he did that then is why we're sitting where we are now.
Absolutely. And like the deal with the Ravens, so like Lamar's cap hit this year was $22 million, but he got $80 million because he did that big deal, right? He got a signing bonus, so he got a check for $80 million this year, but only 22 of it counted against the cap. So that's the way that works.
Because they wrote that big check.
Because the ownership wrote the check.
It's like
and they
taxes,
put it in escrow.
Right? It's like a tax break.
Absolutely. This is where it gets really weedy and kind of geeky, But it was something that I thought I thought was kind of interesting as we looked at it. The story goes on a little bit later to kind of detail what the Lions and where they are. We know the players that they brought in free agency, and they did lower dollar, shorter term free agency. So they can stay. This is why they can stay so nimble. It's why they have over $60 million in cap space to spend next year. Amon-Ra St. Brown's entering a contract year next year. Spot Track has him projected as a 4-year, $108 million extension. So 26-ish per year, 27-ish per year.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, if you think what's
or who said it in the chat? I'm laughing because who was the person that said it?
Woodwardsports.com chat thread. Thank you for bringing me back.
Because
Jordan Schaefer says Amon-Ra will purposely take a smaller extension so he can stay pissed off.
Spot Track says 4 at 108. He's going to come back and go, no, 4 at 80, and I want incentives, and goddamn it, screw you, Detroit. But no, I want to give you this. No, I need to be motivated. I love that. We got us popping during the break there.
Yeah, and so just again, frame of reference. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, Spenny, you say Justin Jefferson's a $30 million a year guy. Tyreek's a $30 million a year guy. 27 seems about fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say a little with your chest a little more. Okay.
Yes.
There you go. Jared Goff entering a contract year in 2024. Next year, he's a $26.5 million, $31.6 million cap hit next year. Obviously had a great season. Spot Track projects him at a 4-year, $150 million extension, going by the numbers. But they said taking market conditions into account, they would probably chart him to be about 4 years, 180 in that ballpark.
45, right?
45-ish.
That's where you got him, Spenny. You don't got him north of 45.
Yeah.
That's it. Cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
we
right.
had this conversation the other day. That seems the way to. And the big thing here, Neal, is if these guys are all getting the money, I know some of us are sitting here going, "Oh my God, but we're not going to be able to pay somebody." But the fact is, you're setting it up to be able to team friendly some of these deals like the other teams do. So we shouldn't be as worried as maybe some of us are hearing these numbers.
No, because here's the thing, guys, that it keeps coming back to this. That guy up north in the chat, are we better off just drafting his replacement? Never forget, with all the cap space and everything like that, and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell, the most dangerous weapon for this team is Brad Holmes handing an envelope to the podium. It's been proven that way. That's why they're here. There's numbers on Brian Branch that Lions PR tweeted out about numbers he's putting up in this playoffs that'll blow your effing mind. And Jahmyr Gibbs that you just talked about. That the show goes on.
Look at the rookie you just mentioned, Branch, Gibbs, Laporta.
This year. And guess what? He's got 4 picks in the first 3 rounds next year. And Detroit, by the way. So, I mean, that's in play, that guy up north. Are we better off drafting the replacement? They have an ecosystem right now that will feed itself continually because he can evaluate talent. That's all I've ever wanted. Somebody that could evaluate talent, man, because that's how you win in this league. So we even got Spenny on board with the golf stuff. 4 at 180.
Spenny even
and this
came
isn't
out,
the Bible.
we need the video of it, but Spenny came out and said, "That's my quarterback."
Yeah.
He did.
He had an announcement the other day.
I saw it.
Yeah.
That's my quarterback.
Some people sent it to me.
I said it last week. Like, you'll never hear me say anything bad about the guy ever again.
Yes.
He won a playoff game. He won the division. Now he won 2 playoff games. So
Anybody else thinking about two games closer to those tattoos? That's what, like
2 wins.
The tattoo show
I know. I just can't wait for the 16 under the eye, like the
Behind the
Birdman.
ear.
behind the ear.
What happened to that boy?
Hey, the grid across the stomach.
That one's going to be
that's the
cool,
one
too.
That's
Just
going to pop.
Just to kind of sum it up for the Lions next year, they enter 2024 with about $61 million in top 51 cap space, but they only have 31 players under contract. So, again, they're going to be counting on a draft class again to come in and play. It'll be an offseason full of internal extensions and free agent signings as the franchise continues to build up a more long-term window of contention. Let me boil that all down for you. We're here for a minute. We're here for a minute. Flannel, you all right with the golf deal?
Yeah. Given the playoff success, yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to get there. Like I said, wasn't going to take
Let it be law. No, because flannel did it.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to take a look at the 49ers before we do move on. But before we do any of that, maybe you need some pet supplies.
Maybe you need some pet supplies, and to stay under the cap for your pet supplies, all you got to do is go to Premier Pet Supply, because Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers, with one major difference: family and locally owned and operated for 30 plus years. Make sure you guys check it out. Over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts to help you. Same day, local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Neal Ruhl here. Tired of wearing that same old tired Detroit sports merchandise? Boom, get the Stoke Not Scared t-shirt. Get 10 of them. Give them out to your friends. Go to woodwardsports.com/shop. It's hoodie season. It's beanie season. It's freaking freezing out there right now. Get stocked up properly. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. It's all there. There's a Woodward Sports golf line. I've been known to rock the Woodward Sports golf polo on the course from time to time. So get it in. Go to woodwardsports.com/shop. All right, keeping it pushing. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel here in the house, and Spencer Raxter as well. And we're chopping it up. And Spot Track put out, they kind of detailed the financial standing of all the 4 teams that are left in the playoffs right now. So, we just kind of took a look at what they had to say about the Lions. The moral of the story was, it's good. It's going to stay good. And yeah, they have some decisions to make, and I knew there'd be some questions, so I do want to get to those right now in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Machiavelli sucks to go. Neal Ruhl, what's the difference between cap versus cash? And Machiavelli sucks. I actually just tweeted this out, so give me a follow on Twitter. Guest on the Pat McAfee show broke it down beautifully. The common man explanation is this. When the Ravens sign Lamar Jackson to a 5-year, $250 million contract, and they give him an $80 million signing bonus, they give him a check for $80 million. The guaranteed portion of that, the Ravens are required at the time to write a check for the guaranteed portion of it, and they send it and they hold it in escrow because it's guaranteed, right? It's guaranteed. They have to give Lamar Jackson this money. So they have to write that check, which means they take that money, the escrow account, will cash the check.
Who gets the juice? Who gets the interest on that?
The company providing the service, D-Mac. You know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know that.
I know.
The escrow house, the escrow service gets that juice. But anyway, they cash the check right then, so the money comes out of the team's account. The $80 million check is given to Lamar Jackson at the time. Since the contract's taken care of, the cap space can be spread out under any terms that they want it to be. There are limits, like you can't stretch it out forever. I think there's when you rework a deal, I think it's a 4-year or 5-year window where you can they call them void years or dummy years.
So you can go 5, 10, 60.
Yeah, absolutely. And you try to coincide that with where you think the cap will be down the road, because somebody else, Robert Closia, brought that up. Remember, the cap's going to keep going up. Exactly. So that's the way things work. Organizations like the Rams, that's how they made their living. They got all those dudes by cutting checks. Now here's the deal. Like when you do it for Matt Stafford and a $160 million deal, and Jalen Ramsey's got a $50 million deal, and Aaron Donald's getting $150, all of a sudden you're writing.
That's a $500 million
in checks that you're going to write.
3 guys.
And you have to write the checks. Like it's going out of your account. So you see why some organizations are the way they are and why some organizations are the way they are. It's there for you if you got the stones to do it. And you got the juice to do it. So
are we going to be in that? Are we going to run into that situation here?
I don't think it'll be as bad here because the draft ecosystem.
Okay.
They'll keep pumping
which makes
talent.
sense. We're talking over 4 years. But if that is an option for one of our big, right? Because I'm looking at the Sewells, right? Or who is your, or Amara or whatever, like the guys that your franchise guy. It would have to be Sewell that you would do something like that with. But again, Neal, options, right?
They got options.
Options, and would you say how well prepared for the options at bay is Brad Holmes?
Fully.
As well as anybody in the league?
Fully.
Right?
Fully.
Absolutely. That's all you can ask. So you got a team that's in the NFC Championship with a guy that can replenish this roster with drafts. You look at the small move that he's still working and that he made. Right? Did you talk about it yesterday? Adding Zach Ertz to the practice squad because Brock Wright's not going to be there, and veteran guy. Even if he makes one block or one play or whatever like that helps you find success. That's part of it. He's always working. So the fact that you tell me that they're prepared for what's coming, not only on the field but off the field, man, that's Stoke not scared,
Stoke
baby.
not scared. Real quick on the 49ers, too, just to let you know where they are. Spot Track says if you can find a 7th-round quarterback who costs you $2.6 million over 3 years, I would highly recommend doing so. The Niners get at least one more season of ultimate value out of Brock Purdy. They use some of that extra money to bring in Jason Hargrave, who they gave $40 million guaranteed to, and they use it to extend Nick Bosa $122.5 million guaranteed. So think of it that way. 49ers ownership wrote checks for $160 million and change for those two dudes. Wrote the check, sent them off. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're in. They are all in. Unlike in 2023, though, the 49ers currently hold all of their top 100 draft picks this coming draft and will hope to find their next wave of financial value as they continue their window of NFC contention. And this is going to be a huge draft for the 49ers, too, if they want to keep it rolling. You know, if they want to keep it pushing, they're going to have to. So, you know, they get some more geeky stuff. Next year, they have almost no cap space, but they got some ways to generate some cap space. They can do, and what people talked about earlier, cap conversions. This is when you add void years onto the back of a contract. You can only do it once in a deal. They have cap conversions available for Kittle, McCaffrey, Armstead, Hargrave. Warner also can open up over $87 million in cap space this coming March, but they'll have to kick the can down the road. That's why it's now, man. It's totally now for them. The moral of the story is this. We're going to kick the ball off Sunday, and I know the Niners are favored by 7, but over the next 6 to 7 years, I think the Lions are a favorite. Honest to God, I believe that. By a lot. By a lot.
Which direction each organization's going, right? Like when you said that it's a big draft for San Francisco, I'm thinking back, and I know John Lynch, acquire guys and stuff, but can they draft? Because all their stars they've acquired. Right now we know, okay, you can hit it on Mr. Irrelevant, but there's some suspect.
Yeah,
in that.
but that's always been them though. That's why they're always around. You know what I'm saying? Like they've always
because
done that.
Because if they miss on something or don't have it, they're going to go out and buy it. And it obviously in your back pocket when John Lynch knows the owner ain't afraid to write over $150 million checks.
And two, like if you look at them,
it's a different thing you're dealing with.
And if you look at the 49ers too, like every year they pop up and go to the Super Bowl, you look at their line. Spenny and I talked about this last week. Like their offensive line always Niners pick, Niners pick, Niners pick, Niners pick. Always, man. So yeah, they've proven, like, everyone remembers the Trey Lance fiasco, right? But no one looks up and down their offensive and defensive line and see how they were acquired.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. It's what you remember versus what is. So again, just to let you know that I just wanted to paint the picture to truly drive this home about the Lions. No matter how this goes Sunday, it's set, and we'll probably rerun this, if and when the season ends as well. Jesse Adams, now with Jackson being hurt again, Jonah Jackson, do you think Brad will give cash to Graham and draft a rookie guard? I don't know how much cash Graham Glasgow would cost, but this is the first. This Jonah Jackson thing will be our first kick at the can with this. Mm-hmm. Spenny, you're an offensive.
Right, exactly. Now, I remember, was it last year? Wasn't it Evan Brown? It's the same sort of like.
And we won that one.
You would say to me, if we're talking, it's the Evan Brown situation.
Perfect, and I forgot about that.
Right, remember last year, we're versatile, but had to. And where did he go get $8 or $9 million from San Diego or something?
I think it was even more than that.
Okay, maybe, but you're going to come
Seattle,
into this situation.
Sure. Yeah.
Was it
Seattle? I'm pretty sure.
Seattle. Okay.
But that was the first.
Seattle
that was the first kick at the can there.
But it's like that situation, right? Where there's probably, Neal, just be safe. You're going to have to make a decision on a few guys each year, whether it's re-signing at a team-friendly deal or a guy that's entering, it's free agency that's going to look to get paid. Like we always knew that Evan Brown was going to go get paid, and he wasn't going to get paid here, right?
I'd throw a tag at Jonah. I don't feel comfortable signing him to a long-term deal because of his injury history. But I do think he's an important part of this team if he can stay healthy. So I'd still draft an offensive lineman, but tag Jonah for a year and have him there at $5 million for a tag for offensive guard.
Let me see what it was last year.
What is his value to bring? What is his market value, Neal? Is he like a $5, $6, $7 million guy?
I believe the offensive linemen get lumped together.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then
So you're in the
probably
teens.
not. Yeah, no, then I wouldn't do that.
You see what I'm saying, though?
That's
like,
whack.
You see what I'm saying, though? Like, this is how it works when we're real.
Yeah.
Like, I love too, that, we're talking about this because I'm a geek and I like it. But I love that now, instead of talking about who we're going to pick at 4,
Yeah.
what are we going to do financially to keep this pushing?
I would, if the offensive line tag gets lumped together, then I'd definitely let him walk, and I'd re-sign Graham. I don't feel comfortable paying Jonah long-term because of his injury history. So if he wants to sign a 1-year deal, which he won't, that'd be cool, but I don't think he'd do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No,
I
it's
agree.
his pay window, right?
And
you got to take that too. It's the Evan Brown thing. You're not going to deter him. It's one of these, if it's a conversation where they want to keep it together and maybe it's more, longer friendly, but no, I'd more or less, he's one of the guys you expect to leave because he doesn't fit in, right, Neal? For the dollar, when you say you lump all the linemen together and you got to pay them in the teams.
That's whack. Change it. Just offensive guard.
Okay, I'll suggest it.
Just a tag for the offensive guards. Each lineman position gets their own tag.
I'll suggest it.
Thanks.
Hoof-hearted. Trey Lance is a $5 million dead cap hit for the 49ers next season, too. So
Say that again?
they got to pay Trey Lance $5 million of their cap space next year.
It's the NFL's applicator.
Correct.
Although he's still in the league. But
but
the residual. Well, and that's when you look at the teams that are getting there and how they're doing it, right? You know what? They're running more off diesel than we're running off of, more maybe hybrid and, unleaded. We got the dual car.
No, we do.
And shouldn't they know they're in California? They can't run diesel in California. San Fran. That's some, you just like, $5 million here, a couple million here, this guy here, shrapnel.
It was wild.
They got to be more environmentally friendly.
It had been a minute since I've been out to California. I think the last time I've been there, we played UCLA.
I love California.
I do too. Until
shout out Griffin.
You look around, and like I said, it had been a minute since I've been out there. And when I was out there for San Jose for college football back in September, them gas prices, when it starts with a 6,
yeah, that sucks.
You're like, damn.
But hey.
Damn.
Well, you understand why they have electric cars out there with the weather. You don't see everybody suffering here with the power plants. But again, the gas prices do help you get an electric car out there.
And then I was just looking at real estate, just in case. You never know. You always got to be prepared, right? You never know what's going to happen in this profession.
In the business that you lead, you never know.
You never know what's going to happen. I looked at real estate and I was like, well, there ain't no 2 furnaces out here that we can afford.
I was just going to say, was there enough furnaces out there?
No, absolutely. But then again, you don't need 2 furnaces.
There you go.
I guess that's the rub.
You probably always do.
Probably, just to know. Just to have them. Just to have them.
Absolutely.
Just like Planet Fitness.
Not because you needed them.
No, but I do need Planet Fitness, and we're live at the Planet Fitness Studios. And look, they give me the taglines to talk about, and I tell you guys this all the time. 24 cents down in honor of the new year, $10 a month for access to your home club. I'm a Black Card member. It's $24.99 a month. That's it. That's all. I love it at Planet Fitness. I don't care where we broadcast around the city. There's always a Planet Fitness by there. Novi, downriver, up here, Birmingham. It doesn't matter. There are Planet Fitnesses everywhere. Over 2,400 of them nationwide. And as I said, over 50 in the Metro Detroit area. Get serious about your fitness, everybody. I've accomplished every fitness goal in my life at Planet Fitness. I'll never be a member at a different gym. Never. Love me some Planet Fitness, everybody. PlanetFitness.com. Join there. Pull in the parking lot. You can join there. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new Down Home Comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The Down Home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of Down Home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only a Big Boy.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Neal Ruhl here for Fairway Packing Company. Guess what, everybody? If you've ever had a good steak in your life at a restaurant, casino, hotel, you know where that beef came from? Fairway Packing Company. The best prime beef, the best dry aged beef, the best Wagyu beef out there in the game. I was out there at the Grab and Go Steak Shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Got a couple of ribeyes, brought them home, seasoned them up, threw them on the grill. They're the best steaks I've ever made by myself in my life. If you think you're serious about grilling, because let's be real, it's still grilling season. I brushed that snow off there, moved the grill over by the door, get some steaks from Fairway, dump them on there. January, don't care. It's always grilling season. If you're serious about it, you have to get your beef from Fairway Packing. Go to fairwaypacking.com. Keeping it pushing here, Big D Energy. We're talking Lions, 49ers, just everything in general in football as well. Coming up on Rest in Peace in just a little bit. Also, so I do have a question for the audience. And Spenny has it here on the show sheet, and I'm kind of changing the order on him, and it's probably not fair to him, but this is how I operate, so I don't know what to do about it. The Brock Purdy thing on Saturday. Was it a thing? Do we think it's a thing? Didn't look too good out there in times. However, when it hung in the balance and when it was all on the line, he got the job done.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think it's a thing, Spenmo? The Brock Purdy thing?
I mean, he shows up when he needs to. You can't say he doesn't. Like, the game's on the line. He goes out there and he delivers.
Now, he wasn't surgical.
No.
Like he's been surgical before.
But he did what he needed to do. Got him down the field.
Now, Sam Flannel, I know you were praying at the altar of Mahomes all weekend long. Did you look up at all just to see any of the Purdy game?
Well, of course. I mean, Lions' next opponent was in that game. I didn't know it at the time, but you're always paying attention to those games.
What'd you think?
Wasn't sharp at times. Obviously, there were a couple missed throws. There were a couple of throws that he got away with that could have really sunk the team. But like Spenny said, when the money was on the line, he made the drive. He had that one beautiful throw to Chris Conley, of all people, on the sidelines. And the thing is, the 49ers, they've got a defense that are going to make some plays. Like Dre Greenlaw had a couple big interceptions. They have Christian McCaffrey at running back. He certainly was huge in that game. And all they need Brock Purdy to do is sometimes execute one drive at the end, and I have faith that he can. I would have faith if I were a 49ers fan that he can at least do what he's asked to do, and we'll see what that is against the Lions.
What was your take on it, D-Mac?
Here's number one. If I'm in their defense game plan and knowing what's going to happen is that Brock Purdy, and if we're going to say he's going to Brock Purdy a couple times a game, you have to take advantage. Look at the defense for the Packers. Pick six in and out of their hands. He's got to make those mistakes. He's going to make 3 or 4 mistakes, right? Bad choices, get out of the pocket. He's uncomfortable, stuff like this. He's going to make bad choices, and you have to capitalize, right? What didn't Green Bay do? If Green Bay capitalized on his bad throws or his mistakes and just did that, right, it's a different game. They win the game. So don't allow him to get to those moments. Don't give him the ball back in a one-score game. The bigger the moment he seems like he rises to. If it's just sort of the mundane moment, into the game and stuff like this, trying to get a feel and get under it, he's susceptible to make mistakes like a rookie. So you just have to take advantage when he makes those mistakes because, as Flannel said to whatever else, all the weapons that he has around him, usually they're not going to make the mistake. We hope Debo doesn't play. Right? Because that puts more pressure, but they still got Ayuk. They still got Kittle. They got McCaffrey, right? Who's unbelievable. So we just have to be able to take advantage when he throws that ball. Does anybody remember earlier in the Tampa game, Goff made a bad throw in the end zone that almost was picked off by Tampa Bay? You got to get lucky on those. So if Purdy makes a play like that, you have to catch those. You don't have the margin of error, right, in this game to not capitalize. If a ball's put on the turf and you have a chance to get it, you have to get it, right? So, Neal, I think that's the big part and a key to this game. If we can, obviously we can win the turnover battle. We can't turn it over to him, but if you can capitalize when he makes those mistakes, because he's gonna make a couple early on. the more he gets into the game, the more settled it seems like the team goes with it. So you don't want to face him with the last drive or stuff like this, but get him earlier in the game when he's not as sharp.
No, and I mean, look, like he's had stretches where he was brilliant this year. I mean, he was the MVP 10 weeks into the season. Remember that?
Yeah, no, he was up. He was definitely up there in the conversation.
And then the Baltimore game kind of happened, and then that was it. And he was kind of off there, and now it's Lamar's MVP and everything like that. But they didn't.
Well, are you not breaking down film and whatever? How there's different Brock Purdy's, like there's different Jared Goffs. If I'm saying Fran, how do we get pressure and get Goff uncomfortable? Right? When he's comfortable, he's going to pick us apart. He picks everybody apart and makes it too easy. Purdy's the same sort of thing. You just got to what is it? Is it when he rolls right and he gets out that he's got a blind spot to throw it back in the middle? Like, there's certain things you can break down in tape. You have to put him in those positions more times than not. The analogy, right? If I'm forechecking a defenseman and I know that he always loves to turn up to the right side, right? Well, I'm going to take the right side away and force him to go to his bad side, because when he goes to turn to the bad side he's not comfortable with, it's a better chance that he might mess up the puck or lose control of the puck. When he goes to his strong side where he's always comfortable, he never loses the puck. So it's the little intricacies like that, maybe on the rush, maybe things like that. So he's a big part. If you can get him uncomfortable, that's a big part to your game plan.
And a lot of people are talking right now, and look, obviously, need to get pressure on Purdy, but they're showing the Purdy highlights right now. We got a TV up here on ESPN in the studio, and they're showing the Purdy highlights from the game. And Spenny, you and I get accused of being overly simple about this. They got pressure on those throws. You know what they didn't get? Sacks. Pressure's fun, man, but it's got to get home, especially
Purdy's
when
pretty good under pressure.
He is for whatever reason. He gets away with it, man. And the way that the Lions, and we'll have more on this coming up in just a little bit after the rest in peace, but the way the Lions bring pressure now, especially because we're seeing it. And what really made me happy was with what the Lions did to get pressure. I call them exotic blitzes, where they bring a safety or they bring a corner, and you're not quite sure what angle it's going to come from. Pause. And they were able to get pressure in there and get sacks from time to time too. And they've done it ever since they adjusted, ever since the Broncos game.
Yeah.
When you do that, you open up those opportunities. If it's just pressure, it doesn't work. If it's a sack, it works. That's the line. That's a non-negotiable line. That is the line. You're blitzing, you got to get home.
You do.
You got to. You don't have a choice.
Especially against the Niners. They got weapons everywhere, man.
Yeah, and that's like the Kittle touchdown. On that first touchdown, they brought pressure. They got pressure to him. Dropped a dime over his shoulder, man, into the end zone. Like it was perfect. Ayuk had one where he got blasted on a catch. They brought pressure. They brought a blitz. And there was even good coverage down the field. But he put it in that little-ass window where Ayuk went up and got it, and he got destroyed. But you know what else he got? First down. So, I mean, that's the line right now, the pressure versus sack line.
100%. And it always is. And you look at what we've been better at, right? 2 interceptions, 4 sacks. It's bend but don't break. But when what has Aaron Glenn done? Dialed up the proper blitz at the proper time. You look at last week. Well, Hutch had one, but it was 3 defensive backs that had the other ones teaming up. So that's where you got to make it. If you watch Brock Purdy highlights, everyone, even though, Neal, you're saying there is pressure, he's comfortable. He steps into the pocket, right? It's sort of, to me, there's a lot of similarities between when Brock Purdy and Jared Goff are both comfortable, and that has to do with the great offensive lines they both have.
Ray H brings up a good point too, and this is a great way to meet in the middle of the whole pressure versus sack debate. And we saw this happen a few times in the Lions game. Pressure and focus on tipping balls. That creates havoc and turnover. The tip pass is, I'm comfortable with, we can talk about pressures if you're tipping passes.
The tip pass is better than the pressure.
Yes.
No, the pressure, like big deal. You're not getting there with the pressure, and that's great, but it's no good as long as they're continuing to do it. But you saw the hands up, the tips and stuff like this. That's the next level. If you can't get there, how many times do we see it now that it's actually a scheme where the defensive lineman backs out and tries to get his hands in the way?
Maybe later on I'll do this too. We'll do we could talk about the quarterbacks that are left. Because I would say passing under pressure, not rolling out, not scrambling, because Patrick Mahomes is the best in the world at extending a play out of nothing. I mean, we can't
Mahomes
debate that.
And you got Lamar. Don't sell Lamar short, dude.
Patrick Mahomes is the best in the world at it. It doesn't matter. It's 3rd and 20, whatever.
Well, can we agree that they're the two best in it? Mahomes outside scrambling is going to throw it, but Lamar outside. Okay, I'm not going to lay on his arm, but when he gets outside and he's got any room to get the dude, he runs. He runs harder, but it seems like he eludes guys like Tyreek Hill.
That touchdown he ran in, everybody out in Vegas at the party we were at, like, he wasn't even moving. How come nobody caught him?
Like, he's one of those guys. So it was like, it reminds me of Mario Lemieux on the ice. So big, and it's like this guy's not even moving, and it's like Paul Coffey, same thing, more like just a ding.
Yeah, it is.
Crazy.
It's wild. But I will say this though, I would say stepping up into pressure in the pocket. Brock Purdy's probably the best quarterback that's left right now at doing that, at stepping up into the pocket with the pressure. It was a masterclass what he did against the Packers. Masterclass.
So that's number one. I'm sure that's what they're talking about. How do we get him off that spot?
Yep.
Right? Which is the same thing as in San Fran's game plans. A lot of the same thing. How do you make Jared Goff a little bit more uncomfortable? Now, Purdy's a little bit more versatile, I think, in running the ball than Goff is, but Goff's got that experience.
No.
That's where experience comes in.
Absolutely. Rest in peace. Coming up next, by the way, can't wait for that one. Tell them about Swiss Insurance.
Absolutely. Congrats to the University of Michigan Wolverines on their national championship, and the Detroit Lions going to the NFC Championship. It's football almost over, but you know it's not overtime to shop your home and auto insurance. So shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. I cover Woodward Sports. I should be covering you too. My buddy Mark, tell you about him all the time. Give him a call. I mean, you can just give him a call. I'm telling you, give him a call. You don't even have to talk about insurance. Mark loves to chat. 248-800-4177 or go to SwissINS.com.
At Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Rest in peace to the same old Lions. You know what else has found the grave? That same old rock, paper, scissors game. The guys at Jack Labrador. Geniuses. They've revolutionized that tire game with 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play. Discover the action at jacklabrador.gg right now and find out why once you go Jack, you never go back. Look at it outside. All right, we need some card games. We got to pass the time here through the winter. We do it here. We play it here in Woodward. Big D Energy destroys that afternoon show in it every single time. JackLabrador.gg or scan the code on your screen. Oh, yes, friends.
Hey,
real quick, before rest in peace, did you guys see?
Yes.
Netflix signed WWE. They will get the WWE TV rights for $5 billion for 10 years.
10 years starting January 2025. Moving and shaking.
Is that going to work like...
$5 billion?
Yeah.
God.
Have they said, like, is it going to work like Peacock? You know how you don't have to do the pay-per-view, you just subscribe? It's going to work like that?
I'm sure that because it's about the worldwide grab.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is, I think they found that market with the subscription base, and I mean, I don't know.
R.I.P. my Netflix.
Half $1 billion a year just to run that. You can figure it out.
It's wild. Would you have
R.I.P. my Netflix account because the prices are going to go up.
They are.
It's going to be a $40 subscription.
Yeah, we don't need Peacock anymore.
I don't have Peacock. Well,
Pretend you did.
I have Rake's Peacock. Shout out to Rake.
Yeah.
There you go.
I have it, but it's on a student discount, so it's $2 a month.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got to get a kid.
Well played.
Well, I work at a college, so I have the college email.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you got kids.
I do.
Yeah.
They're still not earning yet. You know, I gotta get them.
Wait, yeah, exactly. But when they walk out of the house, is there like a clock that's ticking down time? You know, sort of like to say Patty's Day.
The free ride's over, kid.
Patty's Day. You know, 2 years, 3 months. Your poor daughter, 9 years, 4 months. They all got their own clock.
It's not personal. It's business. Absolutely.
If we're about the bag, we're a family about the bag.
Yes. Somebody in the Woodward Sports Peaceful Tim saying they're getting Raw just for that. That can't be.
They're getting Raw and then SmackDown International and stuff like this, and then the pay-per-views. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So it is. Yeah. Tammy Chin says yes, Neal. If you have a Netflix subscription, you get to watch it. It is for Monday Night Raw. I got to get that.
Yeah, it's more right. It's more just for Raw. So their SmackDown Friday is still.
All right. WWE Network is staying on Peacock. So then that
Raw
would be.
is going to Netflix. Pay-per-views are going to Netflix then?
No, that WWE Network's going to stay on Peacock. So the pay-per-views will stay on Peacock.
So they just pretty much just dropped their sack in another friggin' right?
Okay.
And didn't lose anything else that they've had.
Correct.
And you think that I'm dumb for thinking wrestling. Wrestling's like coming in to be wrestling's a new football, baby.
Wrestling, man.
Wrestling's gonna it's entering into that.
WWE should run the NHL.
Wait,
they should.
Do I vote? Do I get a vote? Yes, please. Be more entertaining.
That's wild to me. So, all right. So we're still good. But it is time for rest and peace. Who's going to step up to Sam Flannel playing the part of Big Mike Gentry today? Who's going first?
You can go first. I still got to think of one.
Flannel, you want to go first, man? In honor of you?
Yes, I will go first. I already know who you're picking, Neal Ruhl, so
yes.
I'm going to do somebody who should have got RIP'd a couple of weeks ago, but I think you gave too much of a pass. Rest in peace to Tua Tagovailoa.
Easy, guy.
Hold on.
Easy.
We're going to wait until you do yours, and I have every right to do this. He goes into his first playoff game, puts up 7 points, just looks like he doesn't belong out there and is uncomfortable by the cold. Meanwhile, his opponent on the other side of the field, Patrick Mahomes, plays absolutely brilliantly. Tua Tagovailoa, he's all right, but he's never going to lead Miami to a championship. He hasn't even won a playoff game yet. Rest in peace.
Yeah, still on his rookie contract.
Tagovailoa. That's fine.
Oh, the NFL passing leader this year, Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, okay.
You know what? I cannot wait till you go because I've got all the regular season stats you could ever want against some of the guys that you've RIP'd. I mean, Justin Herbert, 94 touchdown passes in his first 3 seasons.
Tua's not on a $250 million deal.
Okay,
when new information presents itself, the stakes change.
Justin Herbert play playoff game in the warmth. The one thing I'm waiting for, and this is me, and Sam, that's fair because that's your division, and he's against your boy Patrick Mahomes. It's your opinion, but I'm waiting for them to hold. It's so imperative for that team more than anybody else to host a home playoff game.
But hey, how about if you want to host a home playoff game, how about you beat the guy who you're going to say is a bum, Josh Allen, in your regular season finale at home?
That ship was taken on water. Imagine if the Lions' offensive line was hurt the way that both their edge rushers were hurt, dude.
Okay, fine.
The ship was taken on water. Anyone could see it. Anyone could see it.
Anybody else. Imagine if Trevor Lawrence would have done that, or Justin Herbert, or even Josh Allen.
Trevor Lawrence has done it already.
He did.
He put up like 20 points in that playoff game. Yeah, so we can't bury Tua Tagovailoa, but we can bury Trevor Lawrence. That's absurd.
Yeah.
That's insane.
No, it's not insane.
For that
they're at different points right now.
No, they're not. Trevor Lawrence was in his third year.
So if Brock Purdy loses to the Lions, he's dead. Fuck Brock Purdy. He sucks.
He's won, 3 playoff games now? Tua Tagovailoa.
Right, but he couldn't get over the top. So sorry about. I know you're making $900,000. Hey, you can't get over the top.
7
Rest
points.
in peace.
7 points after leading the NFL in passing. 7 points in your playoff debut.
What if the Niners score 7 points against the Lions and lose 24-7?
Well, then it's not a very good look on Brock Purdy. I'll just say that.
He's dead then, right? Rest in peace.
No. He's already won.
Rest in peace.
He's won playoff games. Tua Tagovailoa. Hell, he might not even win a playoff game in his career. He may not. R.I.P. I can't wait till you go because you're going to see why I picked Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I go next?
Yes, you can.
All right, I'll be the buffer. R.I.P.
Oh, the buffer you said. Okay.
The buffer. Bruce Buffer. No, R.I.P. Senator Von Miller. R.I.P. to Von Miller. The man is cooked. Von Miller was paid $14.9 million this season and finished with 0 sacks and 5 tackles in 14 games played. This is courtesy of Dove Kleiman. That's $2.98 million per tackle. R.I.P. Von Miller. R.I.P. He's good.
Dude, he literally died.
Yeah.
He woke up and it was over.
Yeah. Fell off a cliff.
But that's the way it works.
R.I.P. Tua. R.I.P. Von Miller.
Yeah. Maybe if only somebody on his team could have saved them. All right, we'll get there later. This is going to be a Buffalo heavy one, isn't it? D-Mac, you're next.
Buffalo, and one of the things that I wasn't sure of, but I was sure of after this, and whether I agree with Sam or not or anything else, but there's one thing that out of anybody on that Buffalo Bills roster that needs to change is that rest in peace, Stephon Diggs. You will not win with him being your one wide receiver. I don't care what anybody says about Josh Allen or whatever. I saw this dude's superhuman. He stepped above. To me, when you're talking, Herbert and Tua are right there, sort of the same, having to prove. Josh Allen, to me, there's something else there, but he needs help. I mean, forget all the injuries that were happening all around him and stuff like this, but when you need to make a play, and there was an opportunity to make that play through the middle, and Stephon Diggs couldn't make the catch, that's, I just look and I go, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown. He would make that catch because it would be life or death. To me, it doesn't seem like that. It's just too much around it. Until they change their one, he's not the dude. And to me, I think that's the biggest. Health didn't help them out. I mean, all their dudes are in the injury, especially their linebacker core and stuff like this. But to me, it's Stephon Diggs. You can't win with him.
And I can't hate that, D-Mac, because there's always a problem. There's always a problem with the guy.
Right.
It's always the way he looks, the look on his face, his body language. He shook his head. He tweeted this. There's always an issue with that dude. Always. And D-Mac, you're right, man. And I didn't even think about it a lot till you just brought it up. There's always a problem.
Right. And then to me, I learned more about, like I became more of a fan of Josh Allen in the resilient and watching whatever like that. Like, this dude is doing everything that he can do. And I firmly believe that. I feel so empathetic for the Bills Mafia. But if I want to look at problems, that's number one.
But D-Mac, you are right. He is doing everything he can do. But rest in peace to Josh Allen winning a Super Bowl, because it's not enough, because he's not built like that. He's not, because when he comes up against the wall wins every single time. He never knocks down the wall, and that wall is Patrick Mahomes. And I'll say this too, Flannel, I was prepared to almost pseudo-apologize to you, because I think lost in all this, the Lions narrative and all this, there's old Patrick Mahomes again in the conference championship. He's a top 5 quarterback to ever play this game.
Absolutely.
He is a top 5 quarterback to ever play this game. Let me tell you who's not a top 5 quarterback and who will never be a top 5 quarterback. And I always hear about it. I always hear, well, he can run. He's like a running back at quarterback. Oh, look at the numbers. Everything that he does. Everything except win when everything's on the line in the biggest moment, when you're playing for your legacy. Josh Allen, rest in peace, bro. Because as long as Patrick Mahomes is there, you're not.
We've seen this. We're seeing exactly what we've seen. Who is this? Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Josh Allen is Peyton Manning. Is it going to take until his 10th year, 12th year to finally, does he have to go somewhere else to figure it out? But who couldn't Peyton Manning always get by? Tom Brady.
Until he did.
Patrick Mahomes, arguably. And then we're talking about, I agree with you. The kid just gets it done. Now, what was the other question mark? Could he go on the road in the playoffs and get it done? There it is. Check mark to whatever else. But didn't we watch this for years and years and years in the AFC with Peyton Manning?
And ironically enough, D-Mac, I looked it up while you were talking about it. Peyton Manning, I believe, was a 14-13 quarterback in the playoffs. He was just a little above average. Josh Allen's a 5-4 quarterback in the playoffs, trending the same.
And what's Tom Brady? What's
a lot
Patrick
more
Mahomes,
than that,
right?
And what's Patrick Mahomes? A lot more than that.
We all have the only way. Hey, listen, Josh Allen's got to do some deep diving because the only way out's through, and he's got to figure out how. And his Patrick Mahomes is who's, and Andy Reid and that Kansas City, whoever's that defense.
I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't want to hear about the stats. I don't want to hear about the 50-yard touchdown runs. I don't want to hear it anymore. There's one thing left. And oh, by the way, you guys have heard me talk about Lamar Jackson. I've always been a lot higher on Lamar Jackson than everybody else. His situation has changed now. He's got the $250 million contract. So guess what's left? Guess what's left? That's it. The ring. The ring is the only thing left. That's all that's left. And if you don't get it, there's a piece missing. There's a piece missing. Now, do I believe he's good enough to get a couple of kicks at the can, Lamar? Yes, I do. But the Josh Allen thing, when you parlay it with the Von Miller thing, when you parlay it with the Stephon Diggs thing,
and then add every injury to every position player on it, piecemealing that thing together.
Yeah.
Then you can see how it ends the way it does.
Yep. Alex Haggerty, Tom Brady's 35-13 in the playoffs, and Patrick
Is that
Mahomes.
good? I mean, that sounds like the get-right record.
And Patrick Mahomes has gone to the conference championship game every single year of his career that he's played as a starter. So
that's good, right?
It's I. I would say that it's I. Let me tell you what's really good though. Comfort foods from Big Boy. The snow, the cold, all of it. You know it pops better with some veal parmesan or the Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl from Big Boy, one of Newsweek's best restaurant chains of 2023. More of a breakfast person? That's cool. The stuffed potato pancakes, those are a thing. Those are out there. They have the classic, the lumberjack, the Santa Fe omelets, everything out there you can need. And don't forget about the all-new apple pie hotcakes. And finish it all off with a gingerbread shake for dessert. Yes, that screams D-Mac's name. Get to your local Big Boy today for comfort foods.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Neal Ruhl here for Woodward Sports Merchandise. WoodwardSports.com/shop. Get the Stoke Not Scared t-shirt. Get right for this weekend. And maybe, a big game run. Perhaps you can have it all. The Stoke Not Scared shirt, the beanies, the hoodies, all of it. It's all represented. Go to WoodwardSports.com/shop. Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel now. Sam, it's good to have you back, man.
Good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. Yep. Spencer Raxter here in the building as well. You guys in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, here's one that just kind of popped up that I do want to share because I do think it's relevant. if there is something that you can criticize Patrick Mahomes for, I do think that it's this. Jose De La O says Mahomes should have upgraded his wife before he got the big money deal. Maybe he's going to renegotiate.
It's fair.
On both sides. Who knows? Yeah. But, hey, his family doesn't impede him on the football field. So, again, that's all that matters. Lions 49ers this weekend, as we know. First of the critical questions. I want to go around the room. I want everybody. I want everybody in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread also. Which side of the ball is more important? Which side of the ball is more important? Because I think my answer is going to be a little different. What I offer up is going to be a little different than what most are going to be. Can we chat poll that one, Spenny? Which side of the ball is more important?
Yep.
Offense or defense? D-Mac, what do you got, man?
I think it's offense. You gotta be efficient, right? You gotta develop, and whether it's to me it's gonna be a fight, and it's gonna be a heavyweight fight. So it's controlling the field of play, but you got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to establish that play action. To me, is that you have the weapons to score with San Francisco, but. It's the running game, right? It's the clock management and being able to move the ball for first downs and not do 3 and outs. So because you know what, somebody's gonna, hopefully Debo doesn't play so you can focus on Ayuk, but the number one's gonna eat. So the fact is that you just gotta be like on the defense. I know what we're gonna get. The receiver's gonna get his yardage, but can we bend but not break? And this is the ultimate team that gets in the end zone. So to me, I have utmost respect for this San Fran defense, but it's our offense that has to control the game for the defense.
Flannel, what do you got?
I'm going to say defense for this reason. When it comes to how they've been playing, I would say since the Charger game, and especially since the Bronco game, since Aaron Glenn made those adjustments with the blitz, you often see with the stat line at the end of these Lions wins, one wide receiver goes off, but they stop the run, they get some sacks, they create some turnovers, they're playing good red zone defense like against the Los Angeles Rams. But Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in football. Are the Lions going to be able to hold him in check like they've held so many other running games in check? The 49ers, whether Debo's there or not, which that is a very big question, you've got Kittle and you've got Ayuk. Are you going to be able to keep one of them in check? It's a whole different animal. Are you going to be able to get to Brock Purdy? Are those blitzes going to work? Are you going to be able to blitz? Are you going to be able to create some turnovers? It's just the Lions defense, it's been shaky, but they've always done enough. They've always made the critical play at the critical time. The question is, are they going to be able to do that against the 49ers, which is one of the best offenses in football, especially fully healthy? Because I think the offense, I'm pretty confident that they'll be able to put up some points. It's just the defense, can they hold them just enough times?
And in the WoodwardSports.com chat poll right now, offense getting 57% of the vote, which is kind of surprising to me. D-Mac, are we comfortable? I got comfortable with this going into the Tampa Bay game. The Rams game showed me 3 field goals for the Rams. That showed me. I'm comfortable with the fact that their defense is pretty good. It's opportunistic, yes, but it's pretty good.
It's a bend but don't break.
But they have a non-negotiable.
The stat lines you have to look up is win the turnover battle and and have sacks, right? So if you're getting that pressure or tips, right? Like that's the whole thing. So you have to be comfortable because, as Sam said, right, the consistency since you brought up the Denver game, whatever we're blitzing or whatever like that. So I think that Aaron Glenn right now is feeling himself and knowing this team. The big thing that we have going for us, Neal, for most sides of the ball, except for, being nicked up and stuff like this, and Ragnow and stuff like this, is, but compared to everybody else that we see, is we're relatively healthy, right? Relatively healthy. I know, you're missing a few guys and stuff like this, but yeah, no, I think you know what you're going to get. It's going to have to be bend but don't break. I mean, Spenny, how many times in here, I watch the live stream, Neal, and I see a 20-yard pass go over the middle, or I see Mike Evans get a catch or whatever, and I look around and instead of like earlier in the year, guys losing their minds and saying, it's like, okay, it's part of it. You know, can we stop them now? So to your point, nothing more imperative than bending but no breaking this weekend. I mean, it goes without saying, but I'm confident. I'm more confident in what I'm going to see out of the defense, right? Like, and that's into letting one of these guys go off. One of these offensive guys, who's it going to be? Is going to have 150 yards receiving, right? It's just, can you eliminate the McCaffreys, the run game? Do you have that run defense to stop and only make Christian McCaffrey a threat out of the backfield? So these are all things that Aaron Glenn's dialing up right now. But the consistency to what we've seen lately, I think you're right.
Spenny, where you come out on this, man?
Yeah, I think it's defense. I feel comfortable with the offense. They'll be able to move the ball. They'll be able to run the ball. We saw Aaron Jones tote the ball all over the San Fran team. But the defense, they need to make sure that offense doesn't go off. They need to make sure they're getting to Brock Purdy and he's not comfortable back there making all the throws. They need to make sure, like D-Mac said, Christian McCaffrey isn't running wild on them. So I'm looking at the defensive side of the ball.
Because for me, it comes down to this. And I've seen this mentioned. Fiddle of Gold says, you don't score points, you don't win games. And that's, for me, it does change this week because it is on the offense. And I do think that they're going to have to get in the 30s to win the game. High 20s at a minimum. They're going to have to. And that's going to be, a lot of this, and he's my guy, I've rolled with them, but a lot of this is on 16. Not to say that if things don't work out, you crumble them up and throw them in the trash or anything like that. Obviously, that's not the case. For me, though, to win these types of games, you have to have a performance from your quarterback. You do. And I do think rush defense for the Lions is a non-negotiable. Nobody runs the football on the Detroit Lions. They just don't. Go look at the numbers all season long. And yes, the flip side of that is the Lions running the football. I think their rushing attack is a non-negotiable, and it's a part of it, and it's a part that they will implement on it. But I do believe that drives are going to be finished by 16.
Is this as the Councilman Colosia says to the fact where you always say in today's NFL, it's touchdowns, not field goals. So whoever the team's that's better in the red zone punching it in the end zone is going to win this game. And it should be a higher scoring game because both teams should be able to move it against the other team's defense. It's just, can we hold down to allowing 3 points like we've been consistent lately?
And if the Lions win this football game, I think that you're going to have the Disney moment where Goff goes for like 340, 350, throws 3 touchdowns. I do believe that if the Lions win this football game, that will be the correlation. If they do, that will be the correlation that you'll see. And, I don't know how that'll break out. I'm sure Amon-Ra will get like $120 of it and do what he does. But for them to win the game, that's how it has to go down. In my eyes, that's how it has to go. You have to score points, man. You absolutely have to.
What do I always say? What happens? Big players make big plays in big games.
Yes, sir.
So.
And I agree. And that's the way this works. And I know where, again, we have to get comfortable with this because this is how this works. And I know we're caught up and we're lost in the sauce right now, and it's great, and we love this, and this is everything we've ever wanted. But these are legacy games. These are like, can you imagine? Spenny, what if Goff did that? 350, 3 tutties, takes him down the field to win the game at the end. That's a legacy game.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a legacy game.
For sure.
That's what's on the line. That's why these are great to be a part of. Because what if they do it? Oh my God! It's only Tuesday.
There's a chance.
It's only
Samsonite,
Tuesday,
baby. This is Samsonite. More than anything, you're saying there's a chance, and I think there's a bigger chance than anything else. I mean, I look back just in the history of playing in finals or going to whatever, and being. This reminds me more so of Philly, but I think we were even bigger underdogs, to play Philly in the finals. They know what's ahead of them here. They know what they have to do. This is an opportunity to put your name in Detroit legacy forever. You've already established something, but the job's not done. And you know what? I feel that vibe of the train keeps rolling. They're not done. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean? They're not satisfied. So I'm not satisfied.
I like it.
I like it. You know what else I like? Cars, trucks, vehicles. You know where you should go to find a vehicle? What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. Exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. Same great service customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Ave, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. Find the brand you want, lesstanford.com.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White and Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty. Of course, we have Spencer Raxter. And Sam Flannel on all of you in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. We do have to hammer out the top 5 list for tomorrow. We were talking about it. Top 5 old people.
And then, what's old?
Just what's old to you?
Yeah, whatever you decide is
Whoever
old,
you
yeah.
decide is old. If you got to ask.
It's old.
Yeah, there you go. How about this? We'll choose between top 5 old people and top 5 cheeses.
Okay.
All right. Wrapping up this poll, by the way, where'd we finish on that number?
50% offense, 49% defense.
Oh, wow. So the only time we've ever had a middle poll.
Yep.
Because there is that 1% gap. Top 5 old people or top 5 cheeses?
That's pretty wild. 224 votes, too.
Yeah.
That is pretty much down the middle.
Right down the middle. That is amazing. Haha says, without Jonah Jackson, it won't be as good. I'm telling you. That's talking about the offensive. I don't disagree with that.
Definitely a hit.
Yeah.
But haven't they by committed it so well throughout? If there's anybody that's prepared for it, whether it's Sorsdahl or who else is there, Skipper coming in, by committee. They'll be as well prepared as they can be. Don't you guys feel that way? Yeah, they're not as good without Jonah in there, and he's proven that. But they're not losing an enormous amount because you have whoever you plug in there. Look who's on their right and look who's on their left to babysit them to whatever's needed.
D-Mac, I've brought this up to you before, and you said it was interesting because you never really thought about it that way. Through all the sports, through all the games I've called, done play-by-play for in my life, all the games that you played, in hockey and in the NHL and OHL, I brought up before with, you know what all these things always come down to? Because it's all the same in every sport. What mistake do you get away with?
Yeah.
That's all sports are.
It's execution and who capitalizes on the mistake. That's why, when I was talking earlier in the show about please give what I wish for. The Brock Purdy has those moments, right? Those moments, or those not that the Detroit defense gets the opportunity to make plays, right? So there's going to be 3 times that he makes an ill-will throw over the middle or into coverage or maybe scrambling or the ball's on the ground. We have to capitalize on that. That's the execution.
Yep. Chromium Dragon says old people, not dead people. Correct.
Old people, not dead people. Absolutely.
Unless they're an absolute legend.
No, they have to be alive.
Because I think Frank Sinatra is always going to be a top 5 person ever.
Well, then you could say you get an honorable mention dead guy.
All right, fair.
So,
You
right?
can mix
you
it
get an
in there,
honorable
sure.
mention dead guy.
Sure,
There
I
you
will.
go.
Peaceful Tim, next man up. Not worried. No, and you're not worried until you are. Bada bing, bada boom. Jonas missed a good chunk of the time this season. Our run game really never suffered. We're better off with him, but we're not dead in the water without him. No, and that's fair. I definitely agree. The pass protection is not as good though, and that it's been glaring a couple of times.
Yeah,
glaring. So when a mistake gets made, that's when a mistake gets made. How do you get away with it? That's the world. Neal Ruhl's Walmart shirt. San Francisco's going to choke again. +7 looks nice. How come they never get brought? Flannel. How come they never get brought up with that?
That's a good question. As I've always said to Lindsey Hunter, the Dallas Cowboys have won a Super Bowl more recently than the San Francisco 49ers. You look at last year with the quarterback injuries. You look at the year before where they lost to the Rams. You look at 2019 where they lost in the Super Bowl. Those Rams and Super Bowl losses were very, very winnable games. At some point, I'm not going to say that if the 49ers fall flat on their face that Kyle Shanahan and company are playoff chokers, but they get talked about as this model franchise too much for not having done enough, I would say.
No, and they haven't finished the deal. That's why the NFL playoffs are great, because we keep talking about this, right? Like the Niners need one. Obviously, we need one. Lamar needs one, but there's only one getting handed out.
And then Patty Mahomes collects them
Yeah.
already. So you got
he's a hoarder.
You got the ring collector in there going, "Hey, don't forget about me. I'm here to ruin your parade."
Yeah, it is this. I will say this, and yeah, I'm probably compromised in it because we're finally involved in it. But has there been a Final Four in football with this kind of juice to it? Like back when it was Bills Chiefs, before we knew that Josh Allen was never going to win. Before then, I used to get that Bills Chiefs game. Those were electric, Flannel.
Oh, yeah.
They were electric until they just kept playing out the same way all the time. Then they're a little less electric.
It is funny though that you've got the Lions. Obviously, they need one. Lamar, he exercised some playoff demons with that performance on Saturday, but he obviously needs to get a chip. And you've got the San Francisco 49ers, as we talk about. They've come close and have never got one. And then you've got Patrick Mahomes, who, if the Chiefs win this one, the gap between him and number 2 is just the Atlantic Ocean at this point. So there's different motivations for everybody. Very, very exciting NFC and AFC championship games.
If he wins one, D-Mac, if Mahomes gets another one, I got to put him in that Connor McDavid discussion where
Whoa. Connor McDavid hasn't won shit.
No, I know, but he's still got time to go. You know what I'm saying? The gap
between him and the gap between
the best player and the second best player is the largest in any sports league anywhere.
Well, the only other person like he's getting into that Brady category, right? As far as the way to finish it off. There's one thing with talent, but can you put the talent and the execution together? I mean, how can you not go, if you haven't said it already, but with the dynasty? To me, it goes to culture, right? Because this has been the rockiest road that the Kansas City Chiefs have faced in their regime, and you look at where they're at. They're still pumping. That's something to be said.
So it is settled. The top 5 list tomorrow. Your top 5 old people.
Top 5 old people?
Alive
with one dead honorable mention.
Yep. There you go.
I like it.
Where will Tom Mazaway fit? He's got to be a staple, right?
I already know where Mez is on my list.
Yeah.
He's locked in. I already got my top 3 locked in.
I got 3 of my 5.
Yeah.
This one I'm going to sit down on.
Actually, I got 4 of my 5 locked in. I need one more. I need whoever's rounding out number 5. I know my top 4.
You have conviction when you make your top 5s. Like, right away.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait. This is fun, man. Why is it a top 5 list, Benny?
Huh?
Why
because
is it
it's half as boring as the top 10 list.
There you go. Absolutely. So yes, that is it. Tell them about Dispo.
I will tell them about Dispo. And somebody in the chat said if we get to 200 likes, I'll hit both my pens. Absolutely,
Hey.
I will. But first, you can experience Dispo Dispensary, a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere. Dispo is now giving out 2 tickets. Yes, you heard me. 2 tickets, plus hotel and flight accommodations to this year's big game. Yes, the big game in Vegas. Go on Dispo's Instagram page at dispo.michigan and follow directions on the pinned post, or scan the QR code and we'll take you there. Let's get you sports fans to Vegas. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Feel alive during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest New Year's sales event ever. Get the best prices on our huge selection of award-winning Chevrolets. Like this 2024 Equinox for $188 per month. Or this 2024 Silverado for $268 per month. It's the New Year's sales event going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network just hit 200 likes. D-Mac's debt has been paid in full. There you see.
To the dome. That was a good one. Thanks for playing along, everybody. It's a little unrivaled purple ice and a little Death Star in there. So for all you out there, we could have that together, celebrating our Lions and what we have coming up at the end of this week.
Roger Horvath. Imagine if Josh Allen threw the ball to the correct receiver. Mahomes would be sitting at home with the rest of the Swifties.
Imagine if Diggs caught that ball. That was right in his hands.
Wow, aunts, uncles, penises, all that stuff. Something about Merry Christmas, But it didn't happen, right, Sam? It didn't happen.
And honestly, if Josh Allen gave Mahomes enough time, we all think that Mahomes would have went back down and scored and won the game, right?
Yes, probably.
Yeah, probably.
No, I think Von Miller would have stopped him.
Well, it's so sad because he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He had that amazing, he had won a Super Bowl MVP for crying out loud, on top of having all those amazing regular season stats.
But that's the way you just wake up one day and it's over, right, D-Mac?
Unfortunately, that's the harsh reality.
Yeah. Just one day it's over.
And then you got to sit there and go, oh, woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah. Burn, Neal, please. I can only get so bricked up. Don't talk about the Lions winning 24-7. Sorry. Sorry I did that. But yeah, there's top 5 old people tomorrow. Steve Lehman goes on this diatribe against Grandpa Joe. Fortunately for us, Grandpa Joe passed away in 1981. Grandpa Joe, not Jack Albertson. Jack Albertson, I'm sad for that, and Jack Albertson's family. Grandpa Joe, however, I'm happy for his family, and I'm happy that Grandpa Joe is no longer around. Is that fair? I think that's fair. It's fair, right?
It's fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely fair.
Top 5 old people tomorrow. Can't wait for it. I don't know if I'm going to make it to Sunday, D-Mac.
I won't be in tomorrow, but I already gave Ryan my list for my top 5 old people, so I'll have Pete in my stead.
All right. There we go.
What's on the agenda? I got the Wings. Hey, a little Wings talk right here. Last few minutes.
Oh yeah, they keep winning.
Listen, what did I say?
Except Carolina.
What's that?
Except Carolina.
But you're gonna
lose
those games.
It was a spot.
That's a spot. The dude, even the get right was Carolina all day.
Yeah.
But the thing is that that's the imperativeness of getting the 2 points back home against Tampa. It doesn't get easy, but you're 7-2-1 in your last 10. You keep on rolling. You just tied Toronto, so you're keeping pace. This is where the home ice. Like what I love, Neal, is remember last week said, wasn't it about? I don't think you were here, Spenny. Didn't I say wasn't this about a year ago when we crept into the playoffs and we were going into Ottawa and we were getting all excited, right? So that happened a week ago. Look at the progress because we're still in it. We're still playing well. Alex Lyon gets all his flowers there to make the save when he needs to, and shout out to Dylan for leading the way, and Mo and all these guys figuring it out.
Breaking news here, Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network has tweeted, the Los Angeles Chargers have made an extremely strong offer to Jim Harbaugh to become their next coach. The Chargers and Michigan's coach, who are reportedly meeting for a second time this week, are at a point in negotiations where they're discussing potential candidates for the general manager spot and the coaching staff.
Well, that I would have yesterday when I heard there was a report that came out that when Jim Harbaugh had his first interview, they were asking him about who to interview for GMs, who was his choices, and they said there's like 3 or 4 on the list. So, do you take that with a grain of salt, or do you think that that's more to being done than not being done? Is
the
he
latter.
gone?
I think so.
I think he's gone too.
When you start reporting, and it's Garafolo doing this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
you start talking about, they're talking about potential GMs and coaching staffs.
It's done.
So Flannel, luckily we have you here today. Your comment.
I'm leaning towards he's probably gone, just with everything that I've heard, and he seems to want the Chargers job. But I will say this isn't a time for despair, Michigan fans. And for me personally, I will never say anything bad about Jim Harbaugh because he brought Michigan to heights that they never really ever achieved consistently. He won them a national championship. He's the greatest coach in school history. He's the greatest football figure in school history, and they should have a statue of him, and they should rename Schembechler Hall Harbaugh Hall. And that is all that I'm going to say about that because I am satisfied with the job that he has done.
Can I be the first to congratulate Sharon Moore on being a new coach?
Chuck Brewer says, just don't take any coaches with you, Jim, if you go. Sorry, Jesse Minter's going with him.
Going with him.
$1,000,000%.
Oh, well, why wouldn't you? He's
an NFL guy anyway, right?
100%.
Yeah.
He was the best coordinator in college football.
Quick, when he does leave, how many of his coaches go with him, do you think?
I don't know. I lean on you for that one.
Probably Minter. I'm trying to think of any others in particular. I think Sharon Moore will probably get elevated to the head coaching job. I think he'll stay. So we shall see. But fortunately, though, he got Michigan a national championship before he left. That takes pretty much all of the sting out of it.
Job done. Hey, Sam, Neal and I will sit up here and we're giving all the flowers because he did what he needed to do.
Right, and
took the program into the muddy waters, went swimming, didn't go to the nice beach, went to that dirty beach.
Can we agree on that, Flannel? He did everything I asked, right?
Yes.
So I was right in the end.
Yeah, sure. yeah. I mean,
you don't give a shit. Yeah.
No, they won. So hey.
No, but it is one of those things too. You know what the biggest thing out of this is Ben Johnson won't be going to the Chargers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we matrixed that one.
Look
we were
out
like,
for Atlanta though.
Belichick's going
that's
twice.
Losing steam.
You know, I hope they hire Belichick.
That'd be cool. If we keep Ben Johnson by default, I would love that.
We have matrixed our way around the first gunshot, right?
Yep.
We just with the and that thing just shot right by. So we're okay. All right. So yeah, I'm sure tomorrow that will probably do it. So somebody said Red Wings talk. Okay, Red Wings talk over. Sorry, that literally just broke. I don't control the timing of it. Big game though. I'll watch tonight. I'll be locked in.
Yeah, Dallas is good. One of the better teams in the West.
Yep.
We got to keep it rolling.
All right.
I'll be down there. Come get a
Kane,
picture.
no Sherratt.
What's that?
No Kane, no Sherratt.
Yeah, I did see Kane was out too.
Kane's likely going to start skating again at the end of the week. Sherratt's day to day.
One thing on the Michigan thing though, Flannel. Like, I heard a lot of people say we vanquished the SEC and we're on those lines right now. Easy. You got to go back and do it some more, man. Is that fair? Is that fair?
I mean, it's fair, but at the same time, they're in a club that they were not in for a very, very long time.
100% agree.
And that's where I'm at right now. No, they didn't vanquish the SEC, but they beat Alabama.
They landed a shot.
Yes, they did.
They landed a shot.
Yes.
I'll give them that.
Yes.
But now you got to follow it up. Mike Hart, OC. That's a bit aggressive, Flannel.
On surface level, I don't love it, but at the same time, I mean, shoot. I'm not... It's weird being a satisfied fan because I'm not even concerned with next year yet. Maybe I should be, but I just can't help myself. It's a national championship. We'll all be feeling the same way if the Lions win a Super Bowl. It's not concerning.
He don't give a piss about nothing but the Wolverines.
Hey, I don't get overtime here. Let's go.
All right, let's wrap it up. All right, hey, see you tomorrow, everybody.
Deuces.
Well, see you later.